We're here at Lake Mead National Park. Is it National Park or National Recreation Area?
National Recreation Area.
What's the difference?
So the National Park consists of 410 different units. There are units that are national parks, national recreation areas, national monuments, national historic sites. They all have a slightly different designation based on the purpose for which they were established.
Okay.
And we were established for recreation.
Okay, got it. All right, so we're at the Lake Mead National Recreation Area. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is Christie Vanover, and I'm the Public Affairs Officer here at Lake Mead National Recreation Area. I've been here for about 3 years.
Cool, welcome.
Thank you.
Is this your first gig?
This is my first assignment with the National Park Service, yes.
All right. Give me your spiel on Lake Mead.
Lake Mead National Recreation Area is actually America's most diverse national recreation area. We have two vast lakes, both Lake Mead and Lake Mojave, but the lakes only make up 13% of our park. The other 87% is actually land, and it's a geological, just magical place here. We've got granite and sandstone and lava rock and tons of wildlife. It's quite a spectacular place.
So is the lake like just a small part of the recreation area?
It is. It is a very small piece, but it is our most concentrated place where people like to come and visit because it's an oasis in the middle of the desert.
Now, we're at the overlook. Mm-hmm. Hoover Dam is that direction. Mm-hmm. Vegas is in that direction. The lake, we're only seeing what, about a third of the lake here?
Just barely a third of the lake. This is called the Boulder Basin.
Okay.
We also have the Virgin Basin and Gregg Basin.
All
so
right.
this is the largest basin that we have, and it is closest to the Las Vegas Valley, which is why it's the most popular. But it is just a piece of the lake.
What was the purpose of it becoming a protected area?
Well, the Colorado River used to flow through here, so
Right.
there wasn't a lake, and then they built the construction of the Hoover Dam to tame the Colorado River, and as that dam was completed in the 1930s, it backed up and created this lake. Once there was a lake here in the middle of the desert, it became a hot spot for recreation, especially post-World War II. That's when we started to see people flock here from California, Arizona, and then even Nevada as it was growing, and come out here for just great outdoor recreation.
What is under here?
There's actually a lot of cultural resources under here because this is where the camps were built to build the Hoover Dam. This is where all the workers were.
Okay.
There were train lines under here. This is where they put the rocks together. You can see a clarifier out in the distance where they were clearing the rocks. This was the main hub work site for the workers for the construction of the dam.
Okay, so when they finished the dam, they just pulled all of the trains and the equipment here and they walked away because they didn't think no one was ever going to care.
Well, I don't know. They definitely did pull some of it away. Some of the lines, if you're a
Right.
scuba diver, you can actually go down there and kind of still see some of it down there.
Divers love this lake.
Oh, they do. They do.
And being a freshwater, they can see what, down like 80 feet into it?
Yeah, I'm not sure the exact depth. It depends on the winds and different conditions. But you are allowed to dive with lights, and you can go down there. And divers absolutely love it because of the cultural resources that are down there and just all the
Wow.
things you can see.
So it's pretty clear down there, they can see.
It is in some parts,
Yeah.
yes. Especially Lake Mojave, which is just south of us, is a very crystal clear lake because
Right.
it's filtered through the Hoover Dam. So think of it as like the largest water filter. It filters all the silt out of it, and Mojave's a really beautiful
Now,
place.
Vegas gets, what, 85% of our water
I
from
think
here?
90 plus % of our water, yes.
Okay, and then we just drilled the third straw up under the middle of it?
That's correct.
Wow,
Mhm.
okay. Now, all this is old, basically volcanic rock. These are old, correct?
Yes, the black rock that you're seeing around here is volcanic rock. We also have granite, which will tend to be more white, and then the red is the sandstone rock.
Okay, now, under us are the railroad tunnels.
Yes,
That's another cultural,
that's
you
correct.
can actually hike them.
Yes, so we have the Historic Railroad Trail, which has been designated as a National Recreation Trail, and it starts near our visitor center, and it's about a 3 to 4 mile walk all the way to the Hoover Dam, and it used to be a rail line. It used to be the rail line that would take the equipment that was being constructed down here and take it to the construction of the Hoover Dam. So the railroad ties are gone, but the tunnels that the trains used to travel through are still
Cool.
there.
The visitor center, where's that?
That's right off of US 93. So if you're coming in from Vegas headed toward Boulder City, it's right off of US 93. And there's no fee to go into the visitor center. You can pop in there and talk to a ranger.
What's there?
We've got a great film that tells you all about the park and all about the lakes. We've also got a store in there, some different art in there. And then there's different interpretive materials. So you can go in there, you can talk to a ranger, and you can learn about the different activities that our park has and find out what the weather's like for the day and what's a great thing for you and your family to do for the day.
Okay, now you're also the spokesperson for Tule Springs, correct?
That's correct, yes.
What is that?
So Tule Springs was actually established December 19th, 2014, just a couple of years ago, brand new. And you know, for some people, they would look out there and say, okay, that's the empty desert, and they don't understand the mystere of it. But what I really love about Tule Springs is that 200,000 years ago, it was the place where Columbian mammoths and great big sloths and saber-toothed cats and all sorts of different animals roamed. There was water there were springs there was lush vegetation. So I like to personally go back and kind of step back in time with my imagination and think what it was like to be in that area before, you know, humans even existed. Right. So it's been preserved as a national monument, and we hope for, you know, in years to come that there will be lots of paleontologists who will be able to discover what lies beneath.
Well, it's amazing because we look at the desert and we think this is how it's always been, but it hasn't.
Correct.
And that's what Tule Springs shows us is this used to be just one massive swamp.
Correct.
Or a series of them.
Yes.
When is that going to be built out enough for people to actually go out and walk it or visit it?
Sure, so people can go out now and hike the area, but again, you're not necessarily going to know what you're seeing because it is just the desert right now without any interpretive materials. Once the legislation was passed creating the monument, then there was part of that law was to create an advisory council. The advisory council is 10 people from the community who are going to help provide guidance on what they believe that the area should look like. How should it be managed? How should it be planned? What facilities, if any, would be appropriate there? So that council was just named in early 2016, and they'll start meeting throughout 2016, and it'll probably take a few years for that team and the staff that get hired up to determine what's best for that area.
Okay. Somebody comes out from Vegas, they're Vegas tourists, they want to see Lake Mead. What is like the best way for one day to really enjoy Lake Mead? What would you recommend?
Sure, that's a great question. And what's really neat about Lake Mead is that no matter what type of recreational activity, you can do it out here. So if you just want to come and view it and have a relaxing time, you really don't want to get wet, you're not too much into hiking, I would recommend Lake Mead Cruises. That's actually a cruise ship. It's a Mississippi-style paddle wheel that will take you from this area where we are now and take you to the Hoover Dam and back. It's air conditioned, there's a cafe and bar on board, so it's a very relaxing experience for all age groups. If you'd like a little bit more adventure, you can go down to Boulder Beach and you can go swimming, or you can, you know, do some kayaking or rent any type of boat. We have fishing boats, fishing boats, canoes, even houseboats. You could stay overnight if you wanted to spend more than one day out here.
How did Lake Mead end up with a casino in it?
We actually don't have a casino within the park boundaries. Are you talking about the Hoover Dam Lodge? Yeah, that's not actually within the park boundaries. No, it's not. It's called an inholding, so it's surrounded by all federal land, but it's not. It's not within the park.
Right. What has changed since the bridge opened up?
It's changed the traffic a little bit. That's a good question.
All right.
Yeah, the bridge is actually managed. That whole area is managed by the Bureau of Reclamation, not by the National Park Service. So.
Okay. Is the Park Service still offering that special for fourth grade students?
Yes. So this year we are offering the Every Kid in a Park pass. So every fourth grader can get a free pass to all of their national parks and public lands, including Red Rock. And it's good for the school year, for the fourth graders for the school year. And it's not just good for the child, but it's good for their entire family. So they can get their pass by going online and then getting their pass. And then when their family comes, they get to treat their family and take them to the park by showing their pass.
I have the park pass, the $80 one. Best value on earth.
Yes.
So what made you become a park ranger?
I actually worked for the federal government for quite a few years with the military as a civilian, and Las Vegas is a place that my husband and I have grown to love. I didn't grow up here, just came to love it, and this position in my field came open, and I've always been an outdoor person. I did major in recreation as well, and it was just a perfect match for me.
What do you like about Lake Mead? What do you do for fun here?
I like to RV and camp, and that's my favorite recreational pastime. So I like to go to the different campgrounds that we have here and do campfire cooking and then do lots of hiking.
Okay. All right. When you have friends come in town, or say you have a tourist you run into down in the park and they're like, okay, we're done here. What can we do in Vegas? What do you recommend people do in Vegas?
I love the trails. I love hiking. So I love that there are so many trails within the city and then outside the cities. Obviously hiking at Red Rock Canyon, Valley of Fire. We have some beautiful places. Lots of solitude at the Desert Wildlife. If it's hot and it's summer and people want to escape the 110-degree temperatures, definitely Mount Charleston, Lee Canyon area. It's beautiful up there.
What's your favorite Vegas show?
Oh, that's a good one. I would probably say I've seen that one a few times. I've seen most of the Cirque shows, and there's just something magical about that one that sticks with me.
What are 3 things a Vegas tourist should do in Vegas?
Definitely get outdoors. Pick any park, I don't care which park it is, but get outdoors and see what's beyond Vegas. Dine at a really nice restaurant if you can. I think that the food here is just phenomenal, so I highly recommend picking a nice restaurant. And then absolutely seeing a show. I mean, the shows here are like shows nowhere else in the world, so shows, outdoors, and dining.
When you moved to Vegas, is that what really surprised you, was the amount of non-strip activity?
Absolutely. What kind of drew me to Vegas was the strip activity and was the hustle and bustle of the town. But the fact that I could escape all of that, and just 10 minutes from the strip you can find so much more. And I grew up in the Midwest and I love to be outdoors, and the fact that you can do all of that here was a really attractive area for me.
Favorite Vegas movie?
Con Air.
All right, my kind of girl. All right. Any parting words on people enjoying the national parks or anything?
Just come out here and experience it. You know, people might have different opinions about parks. They might think that it's not for them if they're not really into hiking or they're not really into getting outdoors. But you can come out here and have a really relaxing experience or a really adventurous experience. Start at the visitor center and they'll point you in the right direction to have a great time.
All right. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that's it.
Okay, great.